Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, the show that's come out on the Amazon streaming service that 2 people in the world actually bother to be subscribed to has actually produced a pretty good show, The Boys. And it's a pretty good show despite the fact that it's going with the whole thing of what if superheroes were real and they were kind of jerks. I mean, that's the idea of flipping the comic book genre on its head. It's been done so many times that it's actually kind of weirdly become a cliche in itself. So really, how do you make a cliche that is that overdone still interesting? Well, The Boys has the answer, and the answer is investment in the characters. Once you see Robin getting absolutely splattered instantly when she gets hit by A-Train, you are immediately invested with our main character, and you're totally on board with him getting his revenge. And I love the idea that superpowers are just enhancing whatever weaknesses are already in the person. Like, you take A-Train, if he didn't have his superpowers, he'd probably be like a track star, maybe have a little bit of an ego problem, he might have a side chick, and maybe later down the track he'd get caught for like performance enhancing drugs, Lance Armstrong style, something like that, but that'd be pretty much it. But because he has superpowers, all of that is heightened to the point where he does some pretty horrific stuff. I like this idea that as you gain the superpowers, your weaknesses also become superpowered as well. It's kind of like how they say if you win the lottery, sometimes it can be the worst thing that ever happened to you. Like if someone's got a drinking problem but they're poor, it's going to keep their drinking somewhat in check. But if they win the lottery, now they can really drink themselves into an early grave. A little bit like that. But you don't just get invested with the boys, the quote-unquote heroes, because there aren't really any heroes or any real villains in this. Everybody's a mixture of the two. You also get invested in the seven, the superheroes themselves. The fact that you can feel weirdly sympathetic towards Aquaman after he sort of Me Too's one of our main characters, Starlight, just shows how good the writing is. As we all know, the most interesting characters are the ones that are not perfect, and the most interesting villains are the ones where you can kind of understand where they're coming from even if you don't agree with them. And in that way, I'm kind of on Aquaman's side. I want to see him get a bit of respect. I want to see him succeed in actually saving some sea life once in a while. But of course, the core of the show, the guy who steals the show, is Homelander, who is scary as hell, even though we have not even seen him at his full power yet. We don't even know what the extent of his powers actually are. Like, could he punch the moon and it could explode, or is he not quite that strong, or we don't yet know. So it's a real testament to his characterization and the way that he's played as well. That actor is really, really good. Because Homelander as well, he doesn't, like, very rarely does he raise his voice, but he's still intimidating. He has that sociopathic side to him. I was really creeped out a couple times when he was there giving the death eyes to what's-her-name's baby. I mean, I was seriously sitting there going, is he going to kill a baby? Is he really going to do that? And he does have a sort of type of duality to his character in that he's a hypocrite, but at the same time, in a weird way, he kind of does believe his own BS. You get this sense of that he's definitely the villain, but he still kind of believes that he's the hero at the same time. And he's also kind of like smart and dumb at the same time. It's a really unique performance, and I don't know if the actor was deliberately going for that, but whatever the case, it's brilliant. It really is. But I think one of the things that intrigued me the most about Homelander is what exactly is the message they're trying to convey with this character. Because you know me on this channel, I don't just review the movie itself, I like to review the themes that are underneath the movie. And the part that keeps sticking in my mind is how the scientist guy was saying to Homelander, that whole thing of when dogs are raised without their mothers, they become sociopathic. So basically that Homelander didn't have a mom, that's why he's a sociopath. Now, I don't know if that's true or not for dogs, but what I do know for humans is when it comes to boys, if you're talking about tempering their aggression, it's actually more so fathers that they need rather than mothers. I mean, the prisons are filled with guys who never knew their fathers. Lack of a mother doesn't seem to have the same effect on a boy as it does lack of a father. I mean, the one thing every dictator has in common from their childhood is they're all mama's boys. You know, some of them have abusive fathers, some of them have pretty good relationships with their fathers, but all of them are mama's boys. All of them are coddled and can do no wrong in the eyes of their mother. That's the one thing they all have in common. And Homelander is definitely a mama's boy. So I don't quite think that the lack of a mother is what made him what he is. I think the lack of a father is what made him what he is. So I was wondering if he actually is kind of like the negative archetype for a fatherless boy. And that's not to say that that anyone who's a fatherless boy is going to grow up to be a psycho, but there's no doubt that it affects a kid. Not having either one of the parents is going to affect the kid in some way. Not having fathers affects them in the way that we discussed. Not having mothers, differently. So I was wondering why they were going with that angle. At first I thought maybe it was just because of feminism. They can't blame, mothers for anything. So they say, oh, if you had a mother, you wouldn't be like this. But of course the real reason is because at the end of the show, they want to do the reveal that Homelander's son does still have his mother, which is Butcher's wife. So I think that's what they're going for, that Homelander is a psycho because he didn't have a mom, but Homelander's son is probably going to be good because he does have a mom. So there is a story-based reason for it. I don't think it's just wokeness. Overall, I really enjoyed this show, and I'm interested to see where they're going to go forward with these themes, and I'm interested especially to see what's going to happen with the Butcher, because what very few people are talking about is he blew up a baby at the end of that episode. He blew up a baby. Now, how do you do that and not become a villain yourself? I don't know, man. There's no coming back from that. I mean, unless you're Anakin Skywalker, you don't get to murder a bunch of kids and still be a hero, especially babies. So now that Butcher is basically a villain, and that his reason to hate Homelander doesn't exist anymore because his wife's still alive, I mean, I guess he did still sleep with his wife. It's possible, I guess, Butcher might end up actually sort of teaming up with Homelander a bit, because why would he hate him now? His wife's still there, and his wife's really should be angry at his wife, more so than Homelander. Besides, you can't kill Homelander yet. Anyway, so yes, that is my rambling, incoherent thoughts on The Boys, and let me know what you thought of the show in the comment section below. I am Bandit, this is Bandit Incorporated. Until next time, I will see you guys in the comments.